Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over the AM Silver Bullet for Wednesday, September 13th. Before I do, I just want to tell you that the Kraken Silver Bullet indicator, I get a lot of questions asked about, hey, what do you use for your backgrounds for this, dark gray and the light gray and all your lines and things on the chart. And well, I've been working with a developer to make my own indicator to do a lot more than just what I normally have been doing with the Silver Bullet, but it's for the Silver Bullet indicator, and it's free. I'm giving it away for free. It's something I wanted for my own trading, and I'm gonna let everyone use it that joins our free Discord group. And so if you do, it's in the description below. And if you go to the announcements section, you'll see the Kraken Silver Bullet indicator thread there, and you can request to get added to the list of people that are going to beta test it first before I release it to everyone else. So let's go over this candle by candle, and what do we see here first. Let's do this actually. Let's move it up like that. Let's see where this low is. Okay. All right, so let's go and see what happens here. That is what starts the Silver Bullet hour. Now you have first thing I see relatively equal highs. So I'm looking either this is going to get broke, and then are we going to have a market structure shift to go down, or is it going to get broke, and then are we going to look for something to trade to go along? So I'm just looking to see where liquidity is at. You obviously got liquidity down here, and you got buy side up here. So kind of looking for something to happen, right? So when we have relatively equal highs here, that it does take liquidity right there, and it generates more liquidity even there as well. So if we broke this low here, I'd be considering that a market structure shift to go down. Maybe we want to take this liquidity, maybe we aim for these new week opening gaps, maybe we aim for the midnight opening price, maybe we aim for this sell side or this sell side, right? So I'm waiting for this to be taken, or I'm still looking for longs, okay? No, I'm not looking at this fair value gap right here. I want to see how it reacts to this, right? So I'm looking at, is this fair value gap, can it hold price, or is it going to reject right past it, or what? So that's kind of what I'm waiting to see. Okay, so right there it's holding price, good. Okay. All right, so what that becomes now for me is this is a balanced price range. You have price going through fair value gap, and you have price going through fair value gap, same time, same area. So for me, this would be a balanced price range. I'm not looking for a price to trade back up into it. There is a volume imbalance right here. So I'm just kind of like watching to see what happens here. And we're right here at the market structure shift area right here. Barely, you see it. I know because there's a line right there, but it's right there. It does hit it by one tick. So we'll see what happens. Okay. All right, so we have a fair value gap right here. We have a fair value gap right here. And let's see what else. We'll keep going here. Okay, we have another fair value gap right here. Now, if it's this many fair value gaps, I'm looking for it to at least trade into this one up here. I need the second one. My stop would have to be above the second one. I'm not taking this one here. I want to go up higher, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, my target would be down here. That probably down here. Okay. All right, that's where my limit order right there, so it would have been tagged in. Now, if I take an order, I'm right here, so I'm several handles below that already. So I'm just going to throw on the position. I'm going to say I would have bought this, sold there. Here's my position right there, and that's 4 handle stop. I'm going above the second fair value gap by 1 handle, and then I'm aiming for 2, right? 2 kind of puts us at the bottom of this one right here. So the drawn liquidity for me would be right here. It's kind of lines up nicely. If I was in this trade here, I'd be taking a partials right after it goes. Once it closes below the new week opening gap, that's where I'd take a partial. and move my stop up. But I'm not in this trade because I would have taken it right here, which was, not great. All right, so let's see how it trades. So here I'm taking a partial, move my stop to break even, and there we exited the trade. Done. There's your first 8-handle move following structure. Done. Sell side is being taken right here. You're just right here. Look at this. There, sell side's taken. Let's change that to sell side taken. Okay. Let's mark fair value gaps here just to see how they get respected or if they get violated. Okay. That's pretty close to consequent encroachment. It's a little more than consequent encroachment, but I wouldn't have taken that trade as an enter. I have no reason to go long at this moment right here, but it does work out, obviously. We have another fair value gap right here. See how this one gets traded in. I need this high right here to get broken for market structure shift. That's what I'm looking for. So I need something. Okay, so this right here is now my market structure shift to go long. Okay, so now I can look at this fair value gap here as well. Okay, and this right here, this fair value gap here, this one from this side, now we took our trade off of, is now an inversion fair value gap because price traded up or expecting to hit it and go long, to go short, but it traded right through it. So now if price comes back into it, that's when I'll buy to go long and probably aim for these highs up here. Is what I'd be aiming for. All right there. I'm buying 2 right there. So we'll actually buy 2 there. Put my position on, aim for these highs here. So it's 4 1/4 handles. Aim for that. And yeah, there you go. We're going to take a partial. Let's see. Probably after the BPR range here, I'd want it, if it closes above that, I'd take a partial. That's probably what I'd be looking for. So let's just see how this plays out. But it's trading view, I need to have a close above that. Normally you'd have a limit order or a stop order on where you'd be targeting your partials. So that right there is above this. So I'm going to sell one there. So now we're 1 down there. So now let's see. Now my stop loss, let's put that on here. Where's my trailing stop? Because everyone likes to ask me about my trailing stops. This is how I trade. Okay, this is how I trade live. This is how I trade. I take a partial. I move my stop to break even plus 1 or 2 ticks, and then I let it play out. If it takes me out here, fine. I still made money and I made some. I'm good. If it hits my TP, I'm all. It's great. Now if it gets closer up to 70, 90, 80% range, then yes, I'm moving my stop, trailing my stop up from swing highs. Yes, I am doing that. Okay, because I'm not going to let it come up to 95% profitability and then come back down to nothing, to have nothing. So I'm not going to do that. All right, so let's see if I get stopped out or not. Okay. All right, so for right there, when it's that close, I'm trailing it, my stop right up to this one. So I'm moving it. Okay, right there, we flatten that right there. Which we ended it right about where we want it. Okay. Now let's see how the rest of the if this took out this buy side. It did, right? That was what the target was. So, like, okay, I'll give you an example. My OCD that I have, I can't. I like even numbers, like when it's ratio of 2. Ideally, you want to target, this right here, because you're aiming for this target. Usually you'd come one below it, so if it'd have to take it out. If it takes it out, you're definitely out of the trade. But for me, I like to have even ratios for whatever reason, so that's why it's just 1 to 2. Okay, but you do however you want to trade, and that's just how I trade. Let's play this out for the next half hour. All right. Let's turn this off and just leave this like this. Okay, so let's take off that. Let's take off both positions. And let's go through this. So we came to the 10 a.m. Silver Bullet hour, and we had basically relatively equal highs right here. And then price traded down, broke market structure, and left behind a BPR, and then had fair value gaps down. Okay, and then when price came back up, there was 3 fair value gaps. We entered on the middle one with our stop above the highest one. Right, so we were definitely protected. And we were aiming for liquidity down here. We would have taken a partial down at the new week opening gap, about 60%, and moved our stop to break even. Always protecting our capital, very important. Then we saw that this fair value gap was traded into. We just watched it play out. We just did tape rating. We already took a trade. We did good. Okay, but we're not rushing to get back in because we don't have that need to trade as much, right? So we have another fair value gap here. It stays open. Have another fair value gap, stays open. We break past this inversion fair value, or make this first fair value gap, making this an inversion fair value gap. Okay. I've noticed that when those happen, I love those trade setups, so I like to take them. So I'll take this trade a lot of times if I have something to aim for, which I do. We have relatively equal highs here, which love to be taken out, and we definitely had the range of more than 5 handles. Aim for 10. We definitely had it here. So we had reason we could have aimed for this high as well. So we definitely had 10 handles to shoot for. We only wanted 8.5 that ended us like right here. So we did 1 to 2. We entered our trade. We took a partial above the BPR because that was about 60%, and then we moved our stop to break even. And then we hit our TP right before it took out liquidity here. And those are your 2 Silver Bullet session trade setups for the AM session for Wednesday, September 13th.